Council Commissioner. During our Big Rock topic this evening, Tim Fox will explain the changes to Roundtable, but first he will lead us in the pledge.
Okay, 1 second, I do apologize.
There you go, Tim.
Oh, you got it up. You got it up for me, Dr. Dan. Thank you. I had to close it. All right. Everybody, if you're in Scout uniform, please Scout salute. Those of you who are not, hand over chest and follow along. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And with that, I have a few brief announcements this evening. The face of scouting has changed. We are now Scouting America. We have a new membership renewal. Recharter is now called Unit Renewal. And in our council, Roundtable is now the Scouting Update Series. Commissioner service is also changing. Journey to Excellence ends this year, and there will be no more detailed assessments after this year. As planning for the future of unit service continues, increasingly our focus as commissioners will shift towards connecting with unit leaders we serve instead of assessing unit health. Simply stated, our focus will shift to helping unit leaders because commissioners are the single best resource for you. The second annual Laurel Highlands Council Coveout will be Saturday, September 28th. Bring your friend. They don't need to be a registered scout. The College of Commissioner Science is October 19th. The Eagle Scout Recognition Dinner is November 26th. And we will be rolling out a new clearance tracking software system next month. Finally, a brief announcement from our National Eagle Scout Association.
Well, that's me. Am I being called on now, Dan?
Yes, you are, bud. That's you. Okay. You got 3 minutes.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. I won't need the 3 minutes. So I want to announce the 7th Scout Career Day. It's a Saturday, March the 15th. Here's what we're doing for the entire day. We believe and we know, as you do, that the values and the drive of our scouts are going to be very important to make a difference in the world. What we're doing on this day is to help the scouts become competent at something really important. What we're going to do during this day is we will have 5 speakers, and the idea is to expose the scouts and their parents to educational opportunities. One of the speakers, for example, is the director of admissions at Carnegie Mellon. Another speaker is the director of finance at Robert Morris. A third speaker is from the U.S. Army, talking about all the education opportunities in the military. A fourth speaker comes from the trades to talk about the opportunities to work as a carpenter or a plumber or as a technician of some kind. And the fifth comes from the community colleges to show what the opportunities are to begin the education there. The whole idea there for the day, and this includes lunch, is to give both the parents and the scouts a pretty good idea of what their options are and how they can pay for those. I remember from last year, the financial director, Robert Morris, said, for example, when you pick a school, don't look at the cost. If you can get in, you can probably find a way to pay for the education. So we encourage parents, we encourage all scouts who are concerned about their options and want to have a chance to discuss those options to be there at the education. The day is held at Pitt. We take over one building for the entire day. And so we will send information out. We're sending information out now, but I did want you to know and want you to encourage your scouts and their parents, to attend. Dan, that's my spiel.
Great. Thank you, Bud. Todd, would you lead us in the safety minute?
Yes, I will. Let me share my screen. Let's see here. Can you see the safety moment?
Not yet.
Okay, hold up. It's not giving me a preview, so I'm just gonna, I told you I'd be a little clunky on this. I apologize. Okay, let me see here. It's tab 2. I think it's gonna be this one. So do you see some, okay, here we go. Do you see some girls sitting there?
Nothing yet, Todd.
Okay. It's asking me more questions. You see anything yet?
Saw some movement. Still nothing yet.
Okay.
It's okay if you struggle with it. It's all right. Just read from it, and we'll be fine. We'll get the gist.
Okay. All right. I will read from it. If someone else wants to pull it up, it's okay. All right. So the guide the safety moment today is Guide to Safe Scouting. And it's not really that important that you can see it probably. So the summary is few youth organizations encompass the breadth, volume, and diversity of physical activity common to scouting. The Guide to Safe Scouting is an overview of scouting policies and procedures gleaned from a variety of sources and designed to make the program safer. Some general information about it. When it comes to the safety guide, here are some important points for you to remember. Know the guide. All participants in official scouting activities should become familiar with the document and applicable BSA program literature for manuals. The guide is a resource as well as a summary of the materials provided by the BSA. Know the law. Be aware that state or local government regulations supersede BSA practices, policies, and guidelines. Know the risks. The Guide to Safe Scouting does not cover every possible activity, but it provides guidance on how to evaluate risks and proceed safely if explicit requirements do not exist. Check out the activity planning and risk assessment section. Know the restrictions. The document includes a list of restricted or prohibited activities. Know the limits. The document contains age-appropriate guidelines for activities. Find out which and when certain activities are appropriate for particular age groups. And finally, know the program. The guide points to other BSA program documents such as Safe Swim Defense, the National Shooting Sports Manual, and additional program materials. It is not just a guide. While the Guide to Safe Scouting provides guidance on how to assess risks and proceed safely, if your activity is not specifically addressed in program materials, it also contains policies such as the Scouter Code of Conduct and the barriers to abuse. It also may lead you to requirements found in other BSA program materials. Back to you, Tim.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Todd. I think I'm up now with the membership moment. And so we're going to talk about den chiefs and why you need them. So a den chief is specifically trained Scouts BSA Venture or Sea Scout member who assists the den leaders at any level in the pack. And a den chief attends den and pack meetings, and they help the den leader to be able to plan and conduct the meetings, and then confidently help lead portions of the den meetings and their den meeting programs. This is a great way to spread the workload in the den meeting and give the den chief leadership experience. The den chief makes your Cub Scouts more likely to cross over into Scouts BSA when they are old enough. And if you're in a troop, offer den chiefs to nearby packs. Each den chief provides an additional connection to the pack. They serve the den and its members by being a role model and recruiter. Den chief is also one of the positions of responsibility that can be applied toward rank advancement, including Eagle. So for more information on den chiefs and their training, you can go to www.scouting.org /training/youth and /den chief training. All right, that's it for the membership moment.
Well, Tim, you're up again with the big rock topic.
I'm up again with the big rock topic. All right. Okay. 1 second here as I share. All right, roundtable meeting challenges and changes. This was very important. I'd like to preface this by saying that we started meeting about this about January, I think is when we held our first meeting with our district commissioners, our council commissioners, and roundtable commissioners too as well. So we'll go through this and let me know your thoughts in the chat and what you think. And, you know, hopefully this will be good for you in the long run. All right, so historical roundtable meeting challenges. We always had a lot of them, and they're very difficult to overcome. We have had low attendance and with very little participation. Basically, people just show up, you know, take stuff and leave. Poor promotion, and you know, this comes all the way from the council level, that we don't promote our roundtables well enough. You know, we utilize certain things, and you know, my.scouting.org is a nice touch, but however, we're finding some glitches with there too as well. Lengthy meeting times beyond 1 hour. The sweet spot for roundtable meetings really is about an hour. So if you go beyond that, it's, you know, you start losing the attention span of your audience and things like that. And, you know, things just start to be drawn out, and it's not good. Meetings are lackluster, you know, it's just the same old, same old. Sparse training and networking. You know, the original roundtable was set up for, you know, training specific members and networking and things like that. PowerPoint overkill. Well, here we go. Need I say more with my PowerPoint? Month-to-month planning. Instead of planning in the long run, and what I mean by that is that, okay, once roundtable meeting is done for this month, now you go and you start planning for next month. And a lot of times, depending on the topic you want to do, it's actually too short a time to plan. So there's 3-month and actually 6-month plannings for your roundtables. Same person presenting at all the monthly meetings. I mean, you hear the same person droning on all the time. So you need to change that up a little bit. Topics and content are not engaging. You know, sometimes we just kind of put things out there that we hope that, you know, that it's good. And sometimes they just don't work out so well. Special guests and special speakers are very rare. You want to have more of those, and we'll cover that. So with that, changes to our roundtable. All right, so Scouting America, Laurel Highlands Council proudly introduces our Scouting Update series. Okay, discover, and we have a mission now. So the name change insinuates the word roundtable is antiquated. Roundtable also gives a connotation, only leaders can attend this meeting. And by changing the name of the meeting to Scouting Update Series, we hope to increase attendance. And all leaders, parents, and adults are welcomed and included while providing them with the necessary tools or training needed for scouting. So the introduction and definition of the mission statement is as follows. So discover the scouting truth. We know there is a lot of misinformation out on social media, and we want to provide you with the truth. So there's some good things out there. It doesn't mean that everything is totally bad. It just means that there's some out there, and it confuses things, especially when we have new adults coming on board. We spend a ridiculous amount of time, honestly, at the council level, clarifying information, and want to make sure that you are well informed. Make connections. You are not alone. And that's the big thing. So a lot of people, especially new parents and adults, when they come on, they feel like they're alone in all of this, and you are not. We all came from that same level, and you know, our unit leaders, committee members, and commissioners are highly experienced, and we want you to attend these meetings so that you can find out what it is we do in scouting overall. So you want to utilize them for your questions, your program, your how-tos, etc. So they're happy to help, especially if you are lost and navigation is difficult, especially new leadership that does not know what they don't know. And that's exactly the case. You come in there and it's like, okay, I'll take on the role of den leader or cub master. And it's like, uh-oh, my eyes just flew wide open because I don't know what to do. And, you know, sometimes there's not enough help. So meet adventure. Every turn, training, trip, activity, meeting, and position in scouting is an adventure, and it really is. I've been in scouting now, I think 12 years, and every turn has been an adventure, and it's been a lot of fun. It really has been. And we want you to explore and understand and enjoy scouting adventure, no matter where.
Get this first down, they
Thank you. All right, promotion. So utilize the following every month. We need to use social media. We need to use the e-newsletters that come out, and district and council events. Every time that we have a district and council event, we should mention roundtables or scouting update series from now on. And also, we are going to have personal email invitations from roundtable commissioners or unit commissioners to actually start attending. Keep in mind that it is for everyone. Our target audience, we have unit leaders, and especially new unit leaders. That is key. We want to get our new unit leaders there as soon as we can. And the reason for that is so that we can help them with training, so that we can help them come up to speed a lot quicker. Yeah, having the training online is great, but you don't have that face-to-face with an experienced leader to be able to provide you with feedback. So you just go with what the video says, and we want you to come to face-to-face so that we can help you gain a better perspective. Unit committee members, we want those to come. All our commissioners are typically there. All registered adults. So all you unit leaders, make sure your registered adults know this, that they are welcome to come to this. And they're welcome to chime in. They're welcome to participate. Parents and guardians, again, even if they're not registered, they are more than welcome to come. Council members, district members, special guests, speakers, and occasionally scouts. Now, the key with scouts is if you do have scouts and you're doing a hybrid model, you cannot do any recording with the scouts. It would just be better if they were blank, or if you were doing any sort of thing like that. So just mainly probably in person would be best. Our meeting format, we want to stick to a traditional format, and basically that is how things look right now. So we have our opening, as we just did. We had our safety moment. We had our membership moment. Prayer is optional. If you choose to have a prayer, great. If not, that's fine. Announcements. So announcements should be brief, no more than 5 minutes, honestly, because you start to get into the minutia of, lengthy times when it comes to announcements and things like that. So when roundtable commissioners or whoever sends out their personal emails, what they should include some announcements in there that are going to be there. Our big rock topic, our breakout sessions, and then after our breakout sessions, basically there's no need to reconvene, just go home. And then typically what happens is you have the parking lot meeting, and that's usually how things go. So our biggest change is our addition of our council quarterly scouting update series meetings. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering mainly a lot of national things. If there's changes that happen, you're going to hear it straight from us. Again, council and program change content. So anything that goes on at the council national level, we will be able to provide you with that, and you will hear it firsthand from us. It's going to be hybrid or online, pending content. Again, it's probably going to be mostly online, but there may be a chance to be able to do something that is going to be a hybrid option. We understand that, Laurel Highlands Council is a far-reaching council, and we don't expect, people from Potomac District to come in and sit for an hour and then have to drive another 2.5 hours back home after the meeting. So the big thing here is the big changes too. Now, we know that districts get run down and, get caught up trying to plan their meetings too. So with these quarterly scouting update series meetings at the council level, the districts can use them in place of their own monthly meetings. So the meeting months will be September, December, March, and June. And the dates to be determined will be through tonight's survey/poll.
Tim, will you clarify that our council update series is not replacing all district roundtables?
Yes,
that's not the purpose.
That is correct. No, it is not replacing all district roundtables. It is not happening. It is not doing that. This is in conjunction with your district roundtables. So your district up the scouting update series meetings are going to cover all of the district things that are happening at that level and at the unit level. We are only covering at the national and council level and program level. So this is not, again, this is not replacing your district meetings. This is in conjunction with your meetings. All right. So we will have time. We'll have time for questions and comments. So thank you for all you do, and scout on, guys.
All right, thanks, Tim. Michelle, you are up with unit and membership renewal.
All right, guys, thanks so much. We're going to talk about a very important piece here. And as we go into the fall, we really want everyone to first up get used to the new language as we're talking about unit and membership renewal. Prior to this year, that was not what we referred to it as. It was unit rechartering, and we're trying to get rid of that language. So you will very specifically hear us talking about member and unit renewal as we go through this process. So we're going to share this real quick. If you have questions, I would encourage you to put them in the chat so that we can all benefit from hearing the answers to that information, and we'll get to that towards the end. So welcome to the presentation on this. Beginning in August of 2023, registrations in the Boy Scouts of America moved to a 12-month anniversary cycle. And as a result, membership moving forward needs to be looked at and determined in the best way for all members to renew every year. As part of the change, it's a more simplified and streamlined process for unit renewal, and membership renewal was taken into consideration as we now have a self-serve process for members that also allows the unit to have the option to renew their members if they choose. And that's the important part here as we go through this. There are options for this throughout the process. So beginning 2 months before an individual's registration expires, they will be getting emails reminding them that they need to renew. They'll get those from the national organization along with folks on the unit side. The Key 3 will also receive those updates for that, so that they will be aware of who needs to renew. Those emails will continue on a 15-day cycle until the registration is completed. So it is very important to go through that with our individuals as we're working with our families to make sure they understand this. We're going to start with a unit renewal process. So we actually had a unit that has already completed this process. We were able to walk through it with them. It is a super easy process to do. And we want to share that with you. So we're going to look at this. This does replace the unit process.
Great. I'm on a Zoom call. Yeah. Yes. But
yeah, it does replace. Hi. Hi. Could you mute yourself, please? Sorry. The unit renewal process does replace the recharter process, and this can be done through the MyDot Scouting, through the organization manager. So we're going to go through some slides to show you some of the screens to help you get a better view of what this is going to look like. So this is an organization manager in MyDot Scouting. If you are a member of a unit Key 3, there's a tool called Unit Renewal, which is highlighted here in red. Within the 2-month period leading up to your renewal date, that button will become active. So for a lot of our units who are on the call tonight, that button may not be active right now, but it will be active at a later time. When the unit opens it, it will run a validation process, just like we did, just like that was done during the rechartering process. It will look at whether the unit leadership that's involved is correct, the adults have current youth protection training, and it will look at other unit related validation issues and check to make sure everything's right, including the number of youth in the unit. If there is a validation issue, it will show up in the unit box in a box here like this, so that it prevents you from renewing. So this will tell you what's not right on your renewal at that time. The most common validation issue is youth protection training dates for your adults. As you can see in this example right here, there are 2 members who have expired youth protection training. And at this point, you would have to stop until those 2 individuals are renewed, so that you can, once they get their youth protection training updated, you will be able to move forward with that. Validation requirements. So this just kind of reviews these real quick here. The unit does not have the required number of adults in leadership positions. There's an issue with youth protection training. There's a leader who's less than 18 years old. If the system is validating, they'll check to see whether they have completed CBCs. Please note, for those of us in Pennsylvania, the CBC authorizations are not the same as Pennsylvania clearances, and that's something a little bit different, and we'll get into that in a moment. This system will check for that, and also will flag if an adult does not have a Social Security number, because that is a requirement for the background checks. So now we've got all of that stuff corrected. All of the youth protection issues that were an example in our earlier piece are fixed. That's when the validation is completed and corrections have been made. This is when the unit logs back in. They'll see this box, and the person filling out will put their name in the box for the renewal above, naming the unit leaders who are a part of that, and will then proceed to make payment. So there are 2 boxes highlighted here that you can see. One says click here for the pay at council option, and the other one says next step payment. Those are 2 different pieces. So we're going to go and look at, if you click on the click here for payment at the council office option first. So this is what will come up. This is a sample of what the printed version of a unit renewal will look like. And if, for those of you who have experience doing unit renewals, this looks a whole heck of a lot like a charter renewal document. You'll see the area highlighted in yellow. That will require a signature for it to be completed and processed. You would submit this along with the payment to the council office, and we will take it from there. This gives us all the information we need to be able to process it. You'll see the other box marked create a PDF. I would encourage you to do that, and make sure you keep a copy of it, so that if there are issues or questions, something gets misconstrued, we'll be able to go back and look at the proper documentation and make sure everything's right. We are asking for this to be done by the 15th of the month, so that we have time to review it and get everything going. So in this page that we're looking at right now, this is if the unit chooses to pay online. This recap is at the top of the screen, and it shows them the unit fees that they're about to pay. This says the $100 fee. So the unit renewal fee, and yes, it does say, I see that now, it says recharter fee on here for $100. It does list that on there. There is, if you choose to do a credit card payment, it is a $3 fee, the 3% fee for that. If you choose to make an ACH payment, which is also an option, it is it's a dollar fee. In this process, you also have the option to, if you're making a credit card payment, to save this card for future payments and then click.
We can watch this together.
This will enable you to have a faster processing in future years when you do this. So you then click submit payment. Once payment has been submitted, the confirmation is shown on the screen here. And the information, if you've selected it to save the information for future years, it will stay there and remain in that system till next year when it's time to renew again.
Hey, Michelle, do you have time for a break to answer a couple of questions?
I'm almost done with unit renewal. So if I can get done with unit renewal, then we'll take questions.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, perfect. the in here, so this is the payment confirmation page that shows that you've paid and have once the unit has paid, it will show here on this. The payer of this will also receive a receipt via email. It will list our national council, and it is through WePay. That's the system we use to do that. In case you're using a personal credit card and would like to be reimbursed for your payment of the unit renewal fee. So with that, we can pause for unit renewal, and Tim, I'll take some questions.
Okay, sounds
Michelle,
good. We will
Tim,
start with
If you don't mind,
Oh.
Tim, let me interject. I think I might be able to answer a few questions right away. Michelle,
Okay.
let's clarify. The unit individual that approves the unit renewal is just the COR or their delegate.
So the person who can sign that document is one of the members of the Key 3. So I'm going to scroll back a couple pages, guys. So just hang with me for one hot second here. Oh, right there. All right, here. So the person who can sign in that yellow block is a member of the Key 3. There is a position called a COR delegate, and it's very important that everybody understands the role of the COR delegate. So in some cases, our chartered organization representatives may not be the ones who are the most computer savvy in terms of possibly rearranging membership. So say your committee chairman has stepped down and you need to move a person who was a committee member into the committee chair role. If your COR is not adept at doing that in an online setting, you may want, in particular, to have a COR delegate who can do that on their behalf. When you're looking at this, the individual who is your COR delegate, when you name that person, it's a 24-hour refresh before it takes effect. So if you name them now, tomorrow, they will be able to access the system and see all the information. So it is important, if you're going to do that, to not wait until the last minute, because at the end, I'm going to talk about the charter, the unit renewal incentive, and you don't want to miss that just because of a silly thing like this. So, but this spot can be filled out by a member of the Key 3. It does not have to be the COR delegate.
Good. Tim, questions?
Okay. Kathy Willard, are you able to remove them from the charter if they don't get on board for getting their youth protection?
So we can work with the council to do that. Usually, they'll expire. Their membership will expire. What we're seeing is, in some cases, as we go forward, the membership expiration date for an individual does not align with the unit renewal date. So we're starting to see some differences there, and that could impact, if they signed up in August and they their stuff ends in August, they'll just naturally fall off before you do your unit renewal. But yes, we can always remove an individual and replace them with someone else if need be, especially if it's a key role, if they're not completing their youth protection. And as a side note, we do keep very diligent tabs on individuals in their youth protection training.
Okay. Next, from Megan, should the unit renewal be looked at monthly, or is this for the unit anniversary? Example, our unit is due in December, but scouts have different anniversaries throughout the year.
Oh, this is simply the unit renewal process that we're talking about right now. So this is only the unit renewal. You will only be able to access that 60 days prior to your unit renewal. So in our world, October 1 for the vast majority of our units. There are a couple of units who are off cycle of that we are working to realign this year. But as of right now, this is just unit renewal. When we start to talk about membership renewal, that's a totally different ballgame. And yes, I would encourage you to look at that regularly.
All right,
You'll get a cycle of what too, once you feel for it.
Okay, Christine asked, what needs to be done by the 15th of the month? Do you mean September?
Oh, November. So this is, I'm sorry. I'm getting too many things confused in my brain. That would be December 15th for us renewing. Now we want everybody to do it by November 15th so that you all can get in on the unit renewal incentive, which I'll talk about a little bit later.
Rick Hillenbrand asks, how do you deselect members so they do not renew?
This is part of the member renewal process. I'll cover that momentarily.
Okay. Diane, how do I change the role of a member? Do they need to complete an adult application on the new role?
So for an individual who is in, we're changing the roles, that's where the COR delegate comes in, because the COR delegate can make some of those changes.
Okay. Karen,
Michelle, would you also explain that once a unit pays for their unit renewal, that they may only see something that says pending or posted? They won't see their new recharter date until after they actually have expired.
Yeah, we have a system. It's called pre-posting. Most of them they'll show up in some version of that, pre-posted, pending, something like that is what the verbiage will be for that. So if you look at your stuff, and it does not change until after your expiration date.
Okay. All right. So Karen asks, is council going to require the key 3 to be trained in their position before renewal?
It is not a requirement to complete basic leader training. I'm assuming that's what the question is. That is not a requirement that our council has at this time. We do require youth protection training.
Okay. So Jill asks, so if a unit renewal is January 1st, you will get it November 1st. Is that due by November 15th or December 15th?
It's not the first, it's always the last day of the month. It is always the last day of the month. So if your unit would expire at the end of January, it would be November 1st. So the way the system's set up, it's the month of. So whenever I say 60 days and you're like, well, that's actually 90 days. It's the month of is how the BSA structures those systems.
Right. Carly asks, do I need to put all of the clearance data into advancements.scouting?
No. We are going to have a new clearance system that comes out. Targeted release date for that is October 1st. It is similar to what we use with the current system for uploads, with the exception that it will go into a system that actually sends emails out to the key 3, similar to what they get for membership renewals, to remind them to do their update their clearances.
Okay. I think we have a couple more questions, Michelle. Brian asks, so the only cost in annual unit renewal is $100 fee?
Mm-hmm. And if you pay that at the council office, it's $100. If you use the ACH, it's $101. If you do the credit card, it's $103. Okay. This is only, what we used to call the charter fee. That's all that number is, or that figure is. It's the unit liability insurance. We've named it a lot of things over the years, but I think charter fee is the one that most are familiar with.
Okay, and lastly, John asked, do we have a grace period for unit renewal?
So we have a 30-day grace period for our unit renewals.
Okay, sorry, I did miss a couple others. Will unit leaders have the ability to track and pull clearances from the new system?
You will not be able to pull clearances. An individual can pull clearances in terms of the actual stuff. We'll get into some more of the details of that, but you at least have dates. So you will know when they're expiring. You can get those. We're setting up the system to email out our unit leaders on a regular basis. And I think it's monthly that we're letting you know when things expire.
Okay, and lastly, Jill asked, still clarifying, you're moving quickly. So if we are December 31st, then it will open for us on October 1st.
Correct.
Okay, and that's it, Michelle.
Right.
Tim, there was one last question that mentioned about YPT and clearances, that the way this new system looks at things, on the day that you do your unit renewal, if those adult leaders, YPT is valid for that day, they're good for the year. I mean, so it's not looking at, oh, you expire a week from now, we're not going to validate this. So it is a little bit different. But once again, when your YPT expires, you may then be suspended from that position. So it's only looking at the day that you renew the unit renewal and the leaders on that charter.
Yeah, and just because the national system only looks at that doesn't mean that that's what we look at as a council. When we're renewing, we are checking those dates. We check those dates on YPT, we check those dates on clearances.
Okay, last question just popped up. It says from Mike, it says, who do we contact if we're having issues?
Start with your unit commissioner, then your district commissioner, and if not, elevate it to one of your whoever your council staff member is, your district executive, district director, whatever the case may be. We don't want to inundate Fariba with 500 phone calls, so, or Missy or Kim for that matter, in our other offices. So yeah.
Okay,
Start with
just a comment. Given the unit leader's ability to print the YPT and clearances from the system would be extremely helpful and a huge time saver. They said, please keep this in mind for future updates. Thanks.
So yeah, we can do YPT, we can't do clearances. So there's a lot of pieces that go on with that are complicated. In a nutshell, the system where we track our clearances and the national BSA system are two separate systems. We cannot link them. So it provides us with some hurdles that we have to overcome. We've worked on a lot of those this year. We're very happy with the new system that we're going to be using and unveiling. And as soon as the guy gets back from vacation, we will be getting the final touches on that and ready to go.
All right, Michelle, membership renewal.
I gotta find my membership renewal spot, so just give me a hot second here. So, all right, so now we're gonna look at how an individual's membership is renewed. Some of you may have completed this if your primary registration is on the district or council level. You may have already completed this process this year, but we're gonna talk about how we complete the membership renewal process. So first up, as I said, there are options. So this is no different. There's an option for a family or self-pay or a unit pay option. So on the two sides of the slide, you can see kind of the differences between the family pay. So that would be where they receive the email and they make the payment, or the unit pay. And then there's a couple options within that. Within organization manager, the unit selects who they wish to renew, and then they can either pay online or pay at the council office, depending on how they would like to do that and how to process this. So there's a lot of different pieces with this. And a lot of our units, when you look at it, they have budgetary processes where the unit will pay for at least some of a member's renewal. And it may be, in some units, they pay for all of the adults. In others, they pay for the youth. So depending on how that is, will determine how you proceed with this. Please be sure to communicate this with your families so they know. We don't want folks to inadvertently self-pay if the unit is going to pay for them. There's some stuff that we can do in support of that, but just make sure you're communicating with your families so they know what to expect. So this first part we're going to do is the individual renewal, and we'll walk through this. This is a parent, or if you're an adult leader within the unit, you will have the ability to use the My.Scouting app to see the registrations and see if you have multiple registrations and where your primary is. So in addition to the emails that you receive, starting about 2 months out, there's also a reminder notice on My.Scouting. As shown here on the screen, you get the little bell reminder. And this shows you that there's an action that needs done. In this case, it shows that you're click here to renew. You can simply do that, click there to renew. And there's also a spot that's highlighted here called My Application. My Application will show you all of the places you are registered within the scouting program. So if you hold more than one position, you can utilize that to see where which positions you have and which one is your primary paid membership. So So in this example, the adult has one registration. They're the COR for a PAC. And all they need to do is click on to start the renewal button. It'll bring up the registration details that need to be renewed. So you're looking at the current membership here, and the red highlighted spot, the red box, shows where that individual has their primary position. So in our world, that is where they've paid for their membership. So that's what we consider the primary position. For this case, it's the charter rep for the PAC. We only want to pay for one position, so make sure that that is selected, and it will default to the previous year's primary position. So if you're in a PAC and 1 year the troop pays for it, 1 year the PAC pays for the COR, you may have some work to do on this. You'll see the yellow highlighted spot indicates where you can select that position as the primary position. You can also remove that position if you are no longer involved in that position. So in this case, we'll use the troop as an example. If they were no longer involved in the troop, they would just click remove position, and that will continue. And then the next step is to go to payment. And this is just like this asks, first of all, ask some questions so it makes sure that you understand. If you've ever seen a BSA adult application that contains the leadership requirements, that's all this is. It talks about what the requirements of being a leader in the BSA are. It asks you to type your name to sign and then go to checkout. So in this case, you're going to see the summary of all the expenses. So they're renewing their adult. And this includes the council fee that's on there. This is a sample. Please note that these are not our council fees. This is not our structure. But in this case, it is an $18 fee on the council fee, and then the administration fee, which is 3%, administrative fee, which is 3%. Scout Life is on there, and it defaults to being selected and turned on. So you will then scroll down to enter your unit information. So your credit card information. So the billing address automatically populates from your membership profile, but you can change that if it's an issue. You can restart the process completely if needed. If something goes horribly wrong, you can restart the renewal. That is the button just opposite of the place order button that's highlighted on the screen. And then you can, once you're done, satisfied everything is correct, click the place order, payment is made, an email was sent acknowledging your payment, and you have renewed your registration for 12 months in the BSA. So that is the one version of membership renewal. This is the other version, unit paid membership renewal. So we're going to look at how a unit can pay and renew membership using My.Scouting and the roster tool. The unit can renew adults and youth members, and that's entirely up to the unit as how they proceed with that. So if a unit chooses to make membership renewal payments, one of the unit key 3 members will need to go to Organization Manager on My.Scouting. And in the Settings tab, there's an option to select Renewal Payment. This will allow the unit to process renewals. So as you can see highlighted here in yellow, the unit will pay for renewal applications. This needs to be checked if the unit chooses to make membership renewal payments, and then just click Save. So in Organization Manager, so once you've done that, in Organization Manager, there is a new roster feature. It will be live within the 60-day window to renew registrations, and the process for this is very simple. The unit simply checks the boxes on the far left-hand side of those people who they wish to renew, and then click the renewal button at the top of the gray header, at the top of the roster. In this example, we are renewing 3 youth members. So once the Renew tab is clicked, the bottom of the page opens up to show the unit membership renewal order, and details are available in the unit paid membership renewal batch. The batch is when you have selected them to be renewed. So if you have folks renewing, in this example, in April, it shows you that. If you have ones to be in May, it will be a separate batch for you to do. But once you've selected this, you can go to Payment tab and continue. So this brings up the view of the units selected and the membership selected, and gives you an option to make edits, changes to Scout Life magazine. You can see that is highlighted on here in yellow. If in this case, if you have someone who's not going to get a Scout Life subscription, they just simply uncheck that box and it will remove that from their record, and then go to create renewal order. So the payment summary is displayed, and we see that we have our 3 youth listed on here. 2 youth with Scout Life magazine, and they have the council fee that's in there along with the administrative charge of 3%. So this totals up, and the unit have the ability to use the saved payment method, such as a credit card that we use to renew an individual, or you can add a new payment method if you prefer. The units have the option to use credit card or ACH. Again, credit card charges a $3 administrative fee, and ACH charges $1. So just keep that in mind. Now let's look, so that's the one thing with the payment. So now let's say you want to have this go to the council office and be paid. You can also do that as well. We're going to look at how to do what we're calling a manual registration renewal. The unit can print out a copy of the registration order. So you see under the print selections, you select unit payment of membership renewal. The unit will print out a copy of the registration order and then create they create it by selecting who they want to renew, just as we did in the other example. And under the print option, they print the page choice called Unit Payment of Membership Renewal. And this is the paper copy that would go to the office along with your check to renew them at the end of the month, or renew them for that month. So again, here's the thing on the screen. This is an example of what you'll see. It does list out all the kids to be renewed. Very simple to do that. Creates a PDF file so that we can renew all of those individuals and provide them opportunities to continue to participate in the scouting program. This is an example of what if you click on the PDF, this is what it looks like on their memberships to be renewed. You can just see how simplified this is really. Individuals can do their own renewal in like 5 minutes. It is very quick. A unit can do theirs a little bit longer, probably about 10 minutes to do theirs. And the unit renewal process is, as long as everything is met, all the requirements are met on the unit renewal, that takes 5 minutes to do. It is so slick and easy. We were very excited when we saw the new system in action. Very nice how it works. Very cool. So that is the end of this, but I do want to show you one other thing, because there's a couple of reports that you as unit leaders may need to have at your disposal. So I want to share those with you because a lot of times, you're going to want to know who's due to renew or who has already paid. And here's some examples of some reports that we can share with you that you can find out. First of all, the first report that's highlighted here is the members opted out report. So if an individual has chosen not to renew and they have told us that or told you that, they have the member opted out. That means those are the individuals who will not be renewing with their membership. The next report is members due to renew. So this lists everybody who is due to renew within the last 2 months or who has lapsed. If you select when you select your organization, under organization manager, if you go to your unit, it makes it a lot easier to pull this report. When we pull it on the council level, there's a whole bunch of names on there. So it's a very simple process for you to do it on the unit level with clean and concise information. The last report is members who have renewed. So you can take that and see who's already paid. If you're in a unit that does family pay in particular, this is helpful for you to see so that you know who has already paid in the system. So this report is called a members without unit report. So just give you a quick example here. Say a unit folds or the unit does not renew as part of the renewal process, but these individuals still have a paid membership. We'll look at those individuals and connect them with a unit in a nearby community so we can ensure that we're serving those youth with the scouting program. Just a sample again, members due to renew report. They give you options of export to CSV or export to PDF. If you want to sort it, you want a CSV file. So if you're not familiar with that, it's comma separated value. You can actually sort that and get information that you need out of there. So this is the members due to renew report. Non-renewed membership report will give you information on the individuals who have not renewed. And these reports are available on a unit, district, or council level to help you understand who has and who has not renewed. The last one, of course, is the members opted out. So these are the individuals who have chosen not to renew their membership. So this lets you know who has chosen not to continue. So, all right.
Michelle, will you impress upon everybody that the key 3 needs to approve the membership renewal?
Yeah, so for the membership renewal, we don't have automatic renewal set up because of the need to do clearances, because of our need to check our clearances for individuals. We do not have a membership renewal set up automatically. We do those, we look at them. So when somebody renews, they aren't automatically posted. Yes, the COR still has to approve an individual to be a leader within a unit. That will not change. That is something that is not going to go away. We do require our CORs to approve any unit leader in the scouting program. And there are spots where they can go in, they'll get emails when folks renew, and when we do the renewal process where they can, if they have not already approved them, they'll be able to do it through that system, through the online system. It'll pop up in a batch, kind of like this one. If I go back. So where this stuff comes in, membership renewal orders, there's a spot that says approved. This is showing youth here, but it actually shows it for adults as well. And the COR has to approve those individuals or they don't get posted.
You were just involved in a situation.
So also the importance then of a COR delegate to help with this process.
And if you have an individual like your COR, if your COR is not adept at this, take some time and it's not a hard thing to do. You're logging into my.scouting. But if somebody has not done that before, this can be intimidating. Please take some time with your COR. Have a COR delegate, somebody who the COR approves of having access to this, and spend some time going through to make sure that something doesn't get lost in this. Because if they do the online payment, so if somebody's gone through and made the online payment, they've used their personal credit card to pay for their membership renewal, and they're stuck because they haven't been approved by the COR, that's a bottleneck for things and could hold up a unit renewal as well.
And Michelle, can you also mention that an individual, if I expire in December, I renew myself in October. When I look at my profile, I will not see my new renewal year until my current expiration date, i.e. after December 31st. I will then see my new January 1 to December 31 of 25, correct?
Yep, don't panic on that one. We're hoping that that's something that they address. But right now, the way the system is set up is you don't see your new renewal until your old renewal expires. So that there's no overlap in that. It is exactly 1 year. So I was sweating it out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. My renewal was due at the end of July. I'm on a weird cycle. Don't ask. I'm not quite sure how I got there, but I renewed at the end of July and I was sweating it out a little bit, worried that I might not be able to be renewed. But Of course, FREBA handled everything. It was perfectly smooth. On August 1st, my new date popped up. So it was all good, all smooth.
Okay, Michelle, you ready for some questions?
Sure.
Okay, Andrew asks, are our kids linked to our My.Scouting login?
So for your children, I'm guessing is what the actual question is, their child. They may be. In some cases, those links go through really well. And in others, something happens that does not link a person to a youth to the right adult parent. So if you see something's wrong, let us know. We can connect that, help with the reconnection of that. That is something that FREBA can assist with doing. FREBA, Missy, and Kim can help with that.
Okay, just to bring up real quick that we are going to run over on time due to the nature of our topic tonight. So that, you know, we knew that this was going to be, that we were anticipating this. So just please bear with us. All right, next question. Mari, can a Key 3 leader pay with the youth adult membership from their scouting access? Sort of My.Scouting access. From their My.Scouting access, if family pays via Scout account or unit pays. And what is the procedure if the members is requesting member assistance through council?
Well, I will handle that one separately. Thanks for bringing that one up. So if a person pays through My.Scouting or through their renewal portion, they would be paying as an individual. So that person would be making the payment. If the unit chooses to reimburse them for that, and I think that's where Mari was going with that question, that is something that they could do. But the individual, for it to go through, it wouldn't be going through a unit account at that point. It would be an individual paying for it. As for folks needing or requesting registration assistance, if an individual is requesting registration assistance, regardless of whether they're a new individual or an existing individual, that has to be done with a paper through the council office payment. There is not a system right now for us to do it online, unfortunately. There may be a time when we can do that, but right now we're just testing the waters with this new system. I don't think that we can quite do that, but we'll continue to work on it. And if we have updates, I will let you know. As of right now, though, send the paper application or email, whatever, for the membership fee assistance form and pay at the council office for those individuals.
Okay. And Brian asks, if the unit selects the unit pay option, does that turn off self-pay option in all messaging,
Yes.
such as emails and stuff like that?
It turns off the ability for them to self-pay. I believe it turns off the emails as well, but on some of those things, we had some glitchy things happen where it hasn't done that. So.
All right. Rick asks, is there a way to set a default to not renew Scout Life?
Not at this time. Sorry.
All right. Stuart asks, oops, if that unit renewal tick box is checked, can individuals still renew themselves?
Should not be able to. They should. It's for that part. It's either one or the other. Now, if there could be an opportunity, like if you're going to pay for all the youth but not the adults, and you want the adults to pay, that's going to be a separate item that they can actually do. You can actually segregate to say all youth are paid for by the unit, all adults are self-pay. At least that's what we were told.
Mm-hmm. Mike asks, so this looks like a change from when we used to renew all of our leaders in charter with each year. Do we now need to renew leaders as they expire throughout the year?
Yes. Everyone now has a 12-month anniversary renewal. The vast majority of the individuals within our scouting population right now, their renewal date is going to be 12/31. But in time, that's going to start to change as new folks come in.
Brian asks, is the ACH charge $1 or 1%?
$1.
Brian also asks, can unit membership renewal be paid at the Scout office without any fees?
Oh, yes, yes. Sorry. I was like, well, you have to submit your fees. Never mind. I'm sorry. I misunderstood the question. Yes, there is no additional fee. Just like the unit renewal, there is no additional fee if you bring a check to the council office and pay it there.
John asks, discuss the renewal process if the individuals are in a grace period.
Oh, they should still be able to renew. Now, we've had a couple people express that they have tried to tried to renew after their expiration date and had some issues. If you get into that and you're struggling with it, reach out to your district executive. We'll connect you with the resources to do that. I can't say enough good things about Fariba, Missy, and Kim and our council registration staff. They really know what they're doing. When we get into jams, we just talk to them and say, hey, can you help us out? And they usually know the ways to make it work. It may just be that you have to pay at the office and they will do a manual renewal for you.
Okay. And Timmy Joe asks, what about those who have applied for scholarships?
So individuals who have applied for membership fee assistance, that will all be handled by the local registration folks, depending on where you're at in the council who handles those. If you don't hear from us, they've been approved.
Okay.
Tim or Michelle, can we put out the survey before we start losing people?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let me do my last slide. I have one last slide, guys.
Yeah.
I have one last
Sorry.
piece
Yeah.
here.
There's a bunch of questions here.
Oop.
We apologize if we don't get to answer your questions and all. We're trying to limit our time.
We will take your questions and put those on some of our FAQs that we put up on our website,
Yes.
so we can answer those questions with that. I'd say give us about a week to get that done. But I did want to mention really quick the unit renewal incentive for the Laurel Highlands Council. If you submit an error-free charter by November 15th, so if you heard me say that date a couple of times throughout the meeting, this is why, you will receive a $10 credit for use at a resident camp. That includes Scouts BSA, Cub Scout. So if you guys know about Squash Camp, and if you don't, give me a call, I'll tell you all about it, or Scouts at Work Camp, those all qualify. Independence, Heritage, all qualify for a resident camp use of this, the $10 credit. Also, Cub Scout Day Camp. So that could be used during 2025. An error-free unit renewal means that all PA clearances and youth protection for your leaders are current. The new clearance system is coming online October 1 to assist with that process. So do watch for some updates on that. We will put some stuff out about the new clearance system. We love it. It's fantastic. And I'm very excited about this. And just a last note, that $10 credit per registered scout must be used by 10/31/25. So you will be notified in January. If you've done this, usually we'll know before that. What we're with the new membership renewal process, we do have to wait until the end of the year to figure out your totals. So that's what we're waiting for to do that. So, all right, I did that. And now I'm going to stop share and hopefully be able to put that survey up. Because I did a survey, I created a survey, was all excited. And now I don't know how to make it work. Because it doesn't seem to be on here. All right. All right, so we're just going to ask you real quick here to throw it in the chat because I cannot find the, it said I was supposed to click more and there would be a survey thing in there and there's not. So what I'm just going to ask you to do is in the chat, tell us when you want to meet. We're looking at days of the week of Sunday through Saturday, any day of the week. Pop it into the chat and we'll use that as our survey piece. Because I actually don't know where it went to.
All right, Tim, you want to lead us in our closing prayer?
Absolutely. All right, this is a prayer for guidance. With our upcoming quarterly meetings, we are including a prayer in there. So If everybody could assume a position of reverence. Dear Heavenly Father, as we continue to embark on this journey of volunteering for Scouting America, we humbly come before you seeking your divine guidance. We recognize that we cannot do this work alone, and we acknowledge our need for your wisdom and direction in every step we take. Grant us the discernment to choose the right opportunities that align with our passions and skills. Help us to identify the areas where our service will have the greatest impact and where our efforts will be most needed. Open our eyes to see the needs of others and guide us to places where we can make a difference. Lord, we ask your guidance in navigating the challenges and obstacles that may arise along the way. Give us the strength and perseverance to overcome any difficulties we encounter, and grant us the wisdom to make the right decisions in the face of adversity. May your Holy Spirit be our constant companion, leading and guiding us in all that we do for our council, our districts, units, scouters, parents, and most importantly, our scouts. Help us to listen for your still small voice and grant us the courage to follow your lead, even when it takes us out of our comfort zones. In your loving guidance, we find peace and assurance. We trust that you will direct our paths and use us as instruments of your love and grace. May our service bring glory to your name and be blessings to those we encounter. We ask all of these things in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, well, I guess with that, we are adjourned. We hope that you all found this useful. Obviously, this was our first run through. Hopefully, the next one in December will be a little bit smoother. So once again, as volunteers, thank you for all that you do. We hope to see you soon. Have a good night.
And everybody, just be quick before you log off. Yes, we did record this and we will make this available.